Please welcome Jeff Jena.
Hey, it's great to be here tonight. It's fantastic to be here. I'm going to tell you, this whole show is about love. It's about love, and during it, I'm going to make a lot of fun of my wife. And sometimes the ladies get angry with me. I'm going to tell you something. I love my wife. She's the greatest wife you could possibly have. She is. And here's how I know that, because about 3 weeks ago, my wife and I went to a party. And a friend of ours and his wife had been in Paris. And his wife was showing off to all the ladies at the party her new Hermes handbag, which she got in Paris. And she made sure everybody know that her Hermes handbag cost $3,500. And on the way home, my wife looked at me in the car and she said, baby, if I ever come home with a $3,500 handbag, it will have $3,400 in cash inside. That's a good wife right there. Where's my married people? Make some noise, married people! I'm a married guy myself. I've been married to my bride for 31 years. I am doing life without hope of parole. I'm happily married, and I just have some advice for you young guys, you single guys thinking about getting married. Just get married. Do not get sucked into the big wedding, because the big wedding is all the bride's idea. And I think I can prove this. We have a lot of intelligent women here tonight. Any of you ladies know how many bride magazines are published in America? Because I know. 58. 58. Young bride, modern bride, biker bride, 55 plus bride. There are 58 bride magazines. Now, watch this. This is a real bride magazine. Check it out next time you're at a big bookstore. Bride again. For that recycled bride. Hell, I don't know. Now watch this, ladies. I bet every man here, no matter how stupid he is, knows the answer to my next question. Gentlemen, how many groom magazines would you guess there are? 0. Exactly. There are no groom magazines. And ladies, do you know why there are no groom magazines? Because we don't care. Don't get me wrong, ladies. We love you. We want to be with you. I finally figured it out, ladies. Men don't mind being married. We just don't want to get married. Because men don't care where we get married. We don't care when we get married. We don't care how many of your friends are going to show up in those goofy-looking dresses. We don't want to go register for crap we don't care about. Did you have to do that when you got married? Go register? Oh, sweetie. Sweetie, look at these plates. Hundreds of plates. Beautiful plates. Oh, sweetie, what kind of plates do you like? Round? Why don't you just tell me what kind of plates I like and we can get the hell out of here? My wife was making me crazy before I went about the cake. Did you get that when you got married, guys? The cake question? Honey, what kind of cake do you want to have? How many layers? What kind of icing? These are decisions we need to be making! Finally, I just said, you know, baby, I like pie. Let's have a big wedding pie. Huge pumpkin pie. And you know what? Suddenly, boom, I was out of the planning loop. Suddenly, my input wasn't being called for all the time. And my wife made me go to counseling before we could get married. Me, counseling, can you... I can tell already, some of you ladies go, yeah, I can believe it. Married guys, you're like this. You know why I had to go to counseling? My wife says I don't listen well enough. Well, I think that's what she was saying. And I have some tips, young guy, married dude? No, single guy. It's either yes or no. It's not a, it's like a state of matter thing. It's solid, liquid, or gas. There's not a fourth check. You have a girlfriend. All right, so you're dating. All right, and where's your girlfriend? Right. Yeah. And how long have you been dating this beautiful woman? 3 years. Dude. What do you think, J-Lo just lost your number or something? You're pretty hot, honey, but J-Lo could be calling me any day now. I gotta be ready to make a move. Dude, that kind of helped. That is a beautiful woman, am I right? Darn right, I'm right. No, I get to talk, you listen. That's how it works on my show. That is a beautiful woman, am I right? Darn right, I'm right. I bet she's smart, too, isn't she? Except maybe in relationship stuff. And I bet she's got a good job, too, doesn't she? And can I be brutally honest with you? In your whole life, anybody ever mistake you for Brad Pitt? Really wouldn't be laughing if I were you, pal. Now, are you thinking about getting married? I love asking single guys that because they always turn into Forrest Gump. You ever notice that, ladies? I gotta go home now. Run, Forrest, run! Got a tip for you, man. Do you love this man? Oh, God bless you. It's like I paid you to lead me into the next part of the show. Do you want to keep this man in your life forever? I got a tip for you. Keep it spicy for your man, ladies. Let me tell you something. Been married to my wife for 31 years. I come home from my last road trip. 11:30 at night, she meets me at the front door in a French maid's outfit. I know. I get all excited. I run into the house. She hadn't cleaned up a single room. And I know you've all heard this. Never go to bed angry. Never go to bed angry. And let me tell you something, it works, because my wife and I have never gone to bed angry. There's been times I didn't sleep for 6 weeks. Because that woman knows how to draw out an argument, let me tell you that right now. I love being married. I think being married, having a family is one of the greatest things you can possibly do with your life. I just don't think a real man should ever get engaged. Look at his fiance. I will kill you, old man. No, I think you find a woman you like, you date a year, 2 years, 3 years, until you're sure that's the woman you want to be with forever, guys. And then just one day, boom, get married. Just show up at the house one day. Listen, baby, here's a ring. There's a priest right outside this door. Let's go. Let's go. Look, the game is on in 1 hour. I got shit to do. Now, are we getting married or not? See, because I believe engagement is something women invented to get the power in relationships. So, wait, man, think about it. When you were just dating your wife, you were in charge. Remember those days, guys? Go to pick up. Baby, what do you want to do tonight? Oh, I don't care. I just want to be with you. It doesn't matter what we do because I love you. Then you give her that engagement ring, dude. Boom, you're hanging out with like Darth Vader's sister. You know what I'm saying? Remember the night you got engaged? Oh, honey, what a beautiful... I have the ring now. Sit down. Allow me to explain the new rules. Is that money? Thank you. What? Sex? That part of your life is now over. You're not living together, are you? Smart! Let me recap. I said, are you living together? He said, no. I said, smart! Before I was married to my wife, she would not live with me. And let me be really honest with you. Now that I've been married to this woman for 31 years, I'm trying to talk her into getting her own place again. See, a lot of married guys want to laugh, but they're with their wives. And they are under the funny but not worth it rule. I think it's important to get engaged, though, because when you do get engaged, though, your whole status in the relationship changes. Think about it. When you're just dating, you're the boyfriend, right? Remember when you were dating your wife? You were the boyfriend. You go someplace, you didn't know everybody. She'd introduce you. Excuse me, everybody, excuse me. This is my boyfriend. Boyfriend? That was your status, see? Now that you're engaged, suddenly, boom, you ain't the boyfriend anymore. Now you're her fiancé. French word. Now let me tell every man here, someone go say it once, so pay attention. You hear a French word, you better grab your wallet. Fiancé, do you know what it means in French? You finance everything. And it starts with the ring. When you got engaged to your wife, I bet you gave her a beautiful diamond ring, did you not, sir? Yes! Yes! And you received... Exactly. The payment book. Don't get me wrong, though. I think it's important to get engaged. I think it's only when a man does get engaged he finally realizes that women for all your amazing qualities. Just do not know how to have an argument. Men know how to argue. And I see the looks, ladies. Let me explain. You see, when men argue with men, we pick a single topic. We use arguments going back no more than 4 months in time. And when men argue with men, we try to arrive at a conclusion. You ever argue with your wife or your girlfriend? It's like fighting some kind of jungle sniper. You know what I'm saying, dude? Sometimes you don't know what tree the next shot's gonna come at you from. You're just like, ah, ah, ah. And that's why old guys are so whacked out. They're shell-shocked from a lifetime of this. You ever seen a really old dude with his wife? Got been married 55, 60, 65 years. You look for him at the mall or at church or just walking down the street. Old guys will be like, And older women are never like that. Older women are always like really sharp and stop it. Stand here for, you're embarrassing us. Stand here for 1 minute. I want to look at this dress for 1 minute. See, and I don't want anybody to get up out of here tonight thinking I'm up here pretending I'm some kind of expert on all this sex and love and relationship stuff, because I'm not. Because I went to a Catholic school. Where's my Catholic school people? They're still raising their hands. Yes, sister, I'm right here. Excuse me. Back me up on this for our non-Catholic friends here tonight. We had sex ed classes at Catholic schools, but they were taught by nuns. Nuns. That's insane. That's like taking your car to an Amish mechanic. Oh, they mean well. As a result, there are things I will never understand about, like I will never understand why a real man would ever want to cheat on his wife or his girlfriend. Back me up on this. My friend over in the corner, you look like you're a marriage professional. How long you been married to your bride there? 50. God bless you. 52 years with that beautiful woman. God bless you. And tell these guys who've been married short-timers, guys thinking about getting married soon. You have a great woman in your life, don't you? Of course you do. But even with a great woman in your life, you have your ups and downs, the good times and the bad times, the highs and the lows. So this is what I don't get, guys. Why do guys want to go out and cheat? What are you thinking? Man, my wife is making me nuts. I can't take it. She's driving me right up the... Wait a minute. You know what I need? I need another crazy woman in my life. No, if I had 2 women riding my ass all the time, my life would be significantly improved. 52-year guy. What is your name? Bob and? Gail. Bob, I don't want to, I know you've been with her for 52 years, but I'm going to just turn you on to something. I know you're an older guy like me, but this is the year 2023. A lot of women are doing their own talking these days. Something tells me that's not a big problem in Bob's relationship. Bob and Gail, God bless you. I got to ask you to be honest and say it in a loud voice so everybody in our theater here and I can hear you. After 52 years, and I know you love this one, but do you still argue with your wife? God bless you! God bless you! In case you couldn't hear, I said, do you still argue with your wife? He said, every day. I love that. You know why? That means that relationship's still alive. I hate it when I meet a man who's been married a long time and he tells me he does not argue with his wife, because that means one of two things has happened. He's either given up on the relationship or he's become a liar. My mother and father were married a little over 65 years when my mother passed away a few years ago. And you know what? They argued all the time. Oh, in fact, they argued on the day my mother died. Well, that's kind of what led to the shooting. I know I'm getting older and there's things I don't understand anymore. Like, I hear things on the radio, I got no idea what they're advertising. You know what I'm saying? Like, I turn on the radio, it goes, "Do you want to drive your woman crazy at night?" Going, wow, I already fart and snore, what else can I do? I'm going to tune this in. A few minutes later, "How long can you last in bed?" Man, if I can get 5.5, 6 hours a night, I'm pretty happy. Oh, I found this out the other day. I got to upgrade my 70s and 80s slang because it causes communication with my 24-year-old millennial son. I'll tell you what happened. I'm at the house, we're up in the attic in the loft there, and my wife wants me to get rid of some of my collections. I call them my collections. She calls them that pile of crap in the corner. I said, "Baby, that is not crap. Those are valuable collectibles. But in order to make us a little money and to cut down on the pile, a little compromise, I will take some of my collectibles, I'll put them on eBay and sell them." She goes, "Okay." So I get a big box, I get some of my collectibles, I take them downstairs. I put a big black tablecloth out on the dining room table. I set my collectibles up. I get out the good camera. I start taking pictures. My son is home visiting. He's in the other room. He sees the flash going off. He yells in and he goes, "Yo, Dad, what are you doing in there?" I said, "Buddy, I am taking some pictures of my junk." What are you doing that for? I'm going to put them on the internet for people to look at. Where'd you get an idea like that? Mom told me to do it. She says she don't want to be around my junk anymore. Now hush up, I got to get busy. You're getting busy in the dining room? See, younger people laugh, and there's older people who are going, "I don't see the problem with this conversation. Why are people chuckling at this?" I learned a lot. I learned a lot during the COVID too. I was home. I was home. I got sent home from a tour on March the 15th of the year 2020, and I did not work for almost 15 months. And let me tell you something, it put a real strain on my marriage with my wife. Because you, 52 years, you've been there all the time, right? I've been a comic for 45 years. I've been married for 31 years. I have never, until the COVID, spent more than 4 continuous weeks with my wife. I don't see how you guys do it. Week after week after week, you gotta be right there, no break. And my wife was not enjoying it either, I'll tell you. Like, after about 4 months, I come down to breakfast one morning, and she goes, "You know, I would really like to be a 2-income family again." I said, "Well, get a second job, babe." But I learned a lot during the COVID. I learned a lot during the COVID. I learned this: given the proper motivation and determination, any size pizza can become a personal pizza. I got a new car during the COVID. This car has a special security device that stops my millennial son from taking my car. It's called a clutch. I always like to look at the young people and see the puzzled looks. One young woman in the audience the other night, she's looking at me kind of weird, and I said, "Do you know what a clutch is?" She goes, "Yes, it's a small handbag. Why is it on the car?" I have a Hermes. learned that it's not really hamburger helper, it's kind of hamburger enabler. Find all my recovery friends with that joke. Oh, so listen to this. So my wife, during the COVID, she can't hang out with her older friends because they're all quarantined, so she's got to hang out with these younger women in our neighborhood, and they gave her ideas. Yeah, they started giving her ideas about stuff. Like, here's what happens, not this past Christmas, but a year ago Christmas. My wife announces that we're not going to have gifts this year. Because gifts are just material things, and they get broken, and they get lost, and they don't last. This Christmas, I'm going to give experiences, because an experience lasts a lifetime. Sweetie, what would you like to experience for Christmas? I said, well, what I'd like to experience is wearing a Rolex. I am 70 years old. I believe it would last a lifetime. But my wife gave my son and I tickets to this thing called iFly. Do you know what it is? You know what iFly is? For those of you who don't, I will explain. iFly is a vertical wind tunnel. In the floor is a giant airplane propeller and motor. And it's got a big grate over it, and it turns and shoots this big current of air right up, and the tunnel narrows down, and it gets, really fast, and you put on a skydiving outfit, and then you fall into the tunnel, and you float on a cloud of air, and it simulates skydiving. And if you ever get a chance to go to iFly, go. It's fun, it's interesting, but if you do go, do not make the mistake that I made. When you're in that little training room before your session, and that guy says, is there anybody here who weighs more than 230 pounds? Put your hand up, fat boy. Because you don't want to happen to you what happened to me. It's my turn. I fall into the wind tunnel and I kind of waft down to the floor like a leaf in autumn. And I'm laying on the grate. And the wind is blowing up in my face, and this doesn't feel like skydiving to me. It feels like being drunk and falling down in the street. The little guy's trying to pull me off the floor. Turn up the fan! We got a big liar fat boy in here. Turn up the fan! They changed the names of things tonight. People down here, we live in a gated community. I got a brother who lives in a gated community. It's called San Quentin. Hey, don't laugh, it's all inclusive. I have one, I've mentioned my son a couple times. He is a millennial. My son is 24, and let me remind you ladies, 70. First question I get is, well, Grandpa man, how old's your wife? My wife is 65. Well, why'd you guys wait so long to have kids? Sometimes that's not our decision. I'll tell you the whole story. When we first got married back in the early 90s, right after we got married, my wife found out she had breast cancer. Very serious, very advanced. She went through almost 5 years of total treatment time. Partial mastectomy, lymphectomy on the right side, chemotherapy, radiation. A year till she was clear. She was not clear. Another operation, more chemo, more radiation. Another year to wait if she was clear. At the end of that year, they found something in her blood work they call a tumor marker, which indicates there may still be cancer cells in the body. So they went another round of chemo, another round of radiation, and finally, after almost 5 years of total treatment time, the doctors at Hoag Hospital in Newport Beach, California, where we lived at the time, pronounced my wife cancer-free. But all those brilliant doctors who saved my wife's life told us that after all that chemo and all that radiation, we would never be able to have our own kids. So there we were in our mid-40s, going to adoption agencies, and let me tell my young friend here something. You show up at an adoption agency in your mid-40s, they think you're coming to volunteer. They don't view you as a prospective parent, but you know what? Sometimes God knows better than doctors or adoption agencies. So you can imagine when my wife, at the age of 42, found out she was pregnant for the first time, she was ecstatic. So my wife decided, I'm sorry, ladies, we agreed that we were going to do Lamaze. Now, for you younger guys who might not know, Lamaze classes are natural childbirthing classes, which are apparently only given on my poker night. But I want to be a good husband and a good father, guys, so I'm there 8 Monday nights. 3 hours every Monday night. I'm focusing, I'm breathing, I'm soothing, I'm coaching. Finally, the blessed day comes now. My wife, she's a little bit older, but you know what? She's a first-time mom. She don't know jack. She gets that first contraction. She's like, Oh, this is going to be so beautiful. I'm so happy I'm going to experience motherhood in its fullness. An hour later, we are back at Hoag Hospital, and my wife is in some serious labor difficulty, guys, and I will never, ever, ever forget what she looked up from that bed and said to me in that moment. She looked up and she said, "Hey, fat boy! Why don't you get off your big ass and go find somebody that's got some drugs and get it back in here? Let's go!" Or something like that. I may be paraphrasing just a little. But I said, "No, focus. Listen to the soothing sound of my voice. You've been in labor for 1 hour. I went to 8 classes. 3 hours every class. You still owe me 23 hours of pain!" Now, any guy who's ever been through this with his wife knows I said no such thing, did I, guys? Oh my God, that's what I wanted to say, but what actually came out of my mouth in that moment was, "Okay." And where we had our son was not a traditional hospital, it was a birthing center. I got to stay there the first night with my wife and son. The next morning, we're all together having this amazing family bonding moment. All of a sudden, the door just kicks open, no knock, nothing. This woman comes right into the room, right over to the bed, whips the covers off my wife, and starts grabbing my wife's breasts. I'm like, "Hey! Hey!" She goes, "Relax, sir. I am a registered nurse, and I happen to be your lactation consultant. I'm seeing if the milk is available yet." I'm like, "That's your job?" She goes, "Yeah, I make $35 an hour." Whoa! See, now, why wasn't that option presented on career day? Back when I was in high school. I don't know about you, I'd have been the milkman in my neighborhood. I've been going door to door. Whip 'em out, baby, I got a license from the government. I'm gonna finish up, just talk about my son for a few minutes. My son's name is Miles. If I talk about Miles during the show, Miles is my son. Unless I'm in Canada, then he's kilometers. He's a great boy. He lives in Nashville, Tennessee because he's trying to become a musician because he studied music in college. Where's my dad's at? Do you know what that's like, Dad, to have a son who studies music? I'll tell you what it's like. That's like driving a Honda Civic off a cliff once a year. Where's another 30 grand gone? That's 60. He's actually doing pretty well down there. He's finally off my payroll, and I'm pretty happy about that. Thank you. There's a parent back there with an older child who they thought would never be off the payroll, right back there. I'm gonna get out of here in just a minute. This happened during the COVID as well. I got back into bicycling. I don't know if it, but when I talk about bicycling, I mean, here's what I do. I put on an old t-shirt and a pair of shorts and a ball cap. I got an old mountain bike that's made out of a substance called iron, and it weighs about 65 pounds. I throw it in the back of the pickup truck. I drive down to the bike path. I get on my bike and ride, and I'm kind of old school. It's an old bike. I got a little ring, ring, got a little bell on there. I just pedal along, kind of taking in the scenery. And then I discovered there's levels of bicycle snobbery that I was unaware of. There is a whole group of younger men between the ages of 30 and 45 who think if they just work a little harder, spend a little more on their carbon fiber $6,000 bike, that maybe next year they'll be in the Tour de France. And they are wearing spandex outfits they should not be wearing. Because I don't really need to know that much about your physiognomy. And here's what they do. They cruising on that carbon fiber bike, and they're just going all out, and they scream up behind you on your iron slow bike, and they get right up behind you, and then they scream, on your left! On your left! I know you're on the left. That's why I'm riding on the right. Get a bell, ring. Ring, ring. One of these days, I'm just gonna turn real hard left and crash into their carbon fiber bike. Oh, sorry. Maybe you can glue those pieces back together. I'm gonna get on the iron horse and ride off. Ring, ring. Listen, you guys have been fantastic. I'm Jeff Jena. Thank you guys very much for coming out tonight.
Jeff Jena, ladies and gentlemen.